Ayo went into the basement and to his surprise found Bumi's little child. Anger then took over his curious face because he had made it clear to his staff that no one must bring their words to work. Who dares disobey me? He angrily asked himself as he drags the girl all the way up to the basement where he met Bumi with a plate of bread and tea. In the city of Lagos, there lived a widow called Bumi. She lived in an apartment in the poorest part of the city with her 5-year-old daughter. Life has been so hard on Bumi and her daughter since Bumi's husband died of cancer. That day was the most devastating day for her. After her husband's demise, Bumi became the breadwinner of her small family, though finding a proper job wasn't easy for her since almost all the white-collar jobs she has applied for were taken. Bumi searched the length and breadth of Lagos to find a job that suits her requirements until she finally got a job as a waitress at a well-known and reputable restaurant known as Ayo's Food Delight. Ayo's Food Delight is owned by a business tycoon called Ayo Kuti. Ayo Kuti is a billionaire in Lagos known for his purchases of restaurants and farms across Lagos and her neighbors. He is so far the third richest man in Lagos, and because of this he is so arrogant, egoistic and cruel that he is even one of the most feared people in Lagos. Only few within his class don't associate with him because of his cold and cruel nature. Other elites want Ayo as a friend because of his wealth, power and influence, therefore caring less of his nature, but Ayo is not one of being social, so he kept to himself, not because he doesn't want any friends, but because he is afraid of having a wolf in a sheep clothing around him. Bumi works in Ayo's Food Delight as a waitress. Every day, she brings her little girl to work since she is not financially stable enough to employ a nanny. She will work tirelessly to ensure that her and her daughter could have better lives, but no matter how Bumi works, she would still be paid the same wages supposed to be paid to her every month end, and these wages are not even enough to get Bumi all the basic necessities in life. The least she can do with her wages is to pay for rent, food, water, and her daughter's school fees. Things have been really hard on Bumi and her daughter, but despite all these hardships, Bumi is very hopeful that one day she will find a great and comfortable future for her and her daughter, a future free of poverty and hardships. There is a simple rule at Ayo's Food Delight that prohibits any staff from bringing her child to work. Ayo Kuti has always made it clear to his staff, saying that any staff who brings their words during workdays will be immediately fired. Bumi knows of this rule, but what can she do? Since she can't afford a nanny, she had to risk bringing her daughter to work, and she did this in a way that no one, not even her boss, would suspect her, at least for the time being. One hot afternoon, as Ayo Kuti walked around his restaurant, he heard a sound coming from the basement below him. What could that be? He said to himself and decided to check it out. Ayo went into the basement and to his surprise found Bumi's little child. Anger then took over his curious face because he had made it clear to his staff that no one must bring their words to work. Who dares disobey me? He angrily asked himself as he drags the girl all the way up to the basement where he met Bumi with a plate of bread and tea. Ayo, on sighting Bunk, worsened his furious expression that even the blind could see that he was really angry with Bumi. Bumi, immediately knowing what is going on, quickly knelt to the ground saying,
"Please, Mr. Ayo, I didn't mean to disobey you, but I couldn't leave my child all alone in the house, not to mention that I can't afford a nanny. Please allow her to stay here for just today, and I promised not to bring her here again."
But Ayo, unmoved by what Bumi has just said, told her, "So it was you that had the mind to disobey me, right? And you think that I will listen to all this trash that you spilled out of your dirty mouth? I don't think so. Because of this, you are hereby fired, and I will make sure that you will never work at any restaurant in Lagos or any of the southwest regions. Then you will know why they fear me. Rubbish." With that, he pushed Bumi's child towards her, but little did he know that the basement is still open, because as he pushed the girl towards Bumi, he accidentally fell to the basement and hit his head. When Bumi saw this, she went down and tried to wake Ayo. After some moments, Ayo woke up, but he wasn't in his right state of mind. He looked around the basement and then to Bumi and inquired where he is. Bumi replied,
"In the basement of your restaurant."
Ayo's eyebrows lifted up, saying, "I don't have any restaurant. I don't even know who I am, talking less of being a restaurant owner." It then showed on Bumi that Ayo has lost his memory during the fall. Bumi was shocked and confused in what to do at that moment. She then stood up and was about to go when Ayo grabbed her clothes and said, "Please don't leave me here. I don't know who I am or where I am from. I am so confused right now that I don't know how I got here. Please take me to your house. I can't help myself in this condition. Please see." Bumi wanted to ignore him. After all, he brought this upon himself. If he hadn't been so mean to her and her child, he wouldn't be in this condition, but her conscience wouldn't allow her, so after much hesitation she agreed to help Ayo. She gave Ayo a disguise and led him out of the restaurant with her daughter to her home. Bumi offered Ayo a couch to sleep at night since her house has only one room, and warned him not to go out of her house until she discovered what to do with his memory. Ayo, still confused, obeyed. He then pulled off his clothes while requesting for where to bath. Bumi pointed at the way to her bathroom. After Ayo left, Bumi searched his clothes and found a wallet filled with so much money and golden card filled with money that could last her for at least 4 decades. Bumi decided to keep them on her wardrobe in her living room, hoping that it would trigger some part of his memory, thereby helping him to remember who he really is. Ayo lived in Bumi's house for days. During his stay, Bumi took care of him and tried to help him regain his memory. She prepared nutritious meals for him and engaged him in conversations about his life before the accident. Ayo, at first, was uninterested and distant, but gradually, he started opening up to Bumi and her daughter. Seeing the kindness and compassion that Bumi showed him despite his cruel nature, Ayo began to question his own behavior. He realized the impact he had on people's lives and how his actions could cause immense pain and suffering. Ayo felt remorse and guilt for the way he treated Bumi and countless others. In an attempt to make amends, Ayo decided to take care of Bumi as Bumi cared for him. Every day when Bumi went to work, Ayo would help her with the house chores, meals, and even became a great nanny for Bumi's daughter. He even became more like a father figure to Bumi's daughter. Bumi was so glad that at least her daughter has someone like a father to her. Meanwhile, Bumi continued to support Ayo in his journey of self-discovery. She introduced him to her friends and neighbors, who shared stories of his past self and the impact he had on their lives. It was through these interactions that Ayo started to regain bits and pieces of his memory. As Ayo's memory slowly returned, he became overwhelmed with guilt and a determination to change. He apologized to Bumi and her daughter, acknowledging how rude he has been to them and promising to make it right. With Bumi's forgiveness and support, Ayo set out on a path of redemption. Bumi showed him his wallet before he left, and Ayo was surprised and at the same time pleased with Bumi because despite how desperate she is for money, she is still honest. With that, Ayo hugged Bumi and promised to repay her someday. He sold his extravagant properties and instead invested in education and healthcare facilities for the underprivileged. He launched programs to empower women and children, ensuring they had access to education and healthcare. Ayo also made it his mission to eradicate poverty in Lagos, offering job opportunities and resources to those in need. News of Ayo's transformation spread throughout Lagos, captivating the city's residents. Many renowned individuals extended their support to Ayo's cause, impressed by his genuine change of heart. Together, they formed a powerful alliance to address the city's most pressing issues. Years passed, and Lagos witnessed a remarkable transformation. Poverty rates dropped significantly, healthcare services improved, and educational opportunities flourished. Ayo Kuti became a symbol of hope and change, inspiring others to follow his example. Over the days that passed, Bumi developed feelings for Ayo, but she didn't know how to express it to him. Over time, Bumi's feelings for Ayo had blossomed into something deep and genuine. She admired his transformation and the way he had changed his ways to become a force for good in Lagos. His selfless acts and dedication to helping others had touched her heart in ways she couldn't fully express. Despite her feelings, Bumi was uncertain about how to approach Ayo. She feared rejection and didn't want to disrupt the positive changes he had undergone. Additionally, she worried about the impact a romantic relationship might have on her daughter and their stability. As days turned into weeks, Bumi found herself unable to suppress her emotions any longer. One evening, as they sat together in her modest living room, she knew she had to speak her heart.
Ayo, I need to tell you something.
Bumi began, her voice tinged with vulnerability.
I have found myself caring for you deeply. I see the person you've become, and it has touched me in ways I never expected. I want to support you and be by your side as you continue your mission to help others.
Ayo listened intently, his eyes reflecting a mix of surprise and warmth. He had grown fond of Bumi and her daughter, finding solace in their presence during his own journey of self-discovery. Bumi, your kindness and unwavering support have been invaluable to me, Ayo responded, a smile touching his lips. You've helped me in ways I never imagined, and I feel a strong bond with both you and your daughter. I want to be there for you as well. As they shared their feelings, a sense of understanding and connection enveloped them. It was a moment of vulnerability and honesty, building a foundation of trust and care that they both cherished. Their shared experiences had brought them closer, and they both felt ready to explore their newfound emotions together. In the weeks that followed, Bumi and Ayo's bond grew deeper. They supported each other's dreams and aspirations, standing side by side as they continued their mission to improve the lives of others in Lagos. Together, they worked tirelessly, using their resources and determination to create lasting change in their community. Their love and dedication to each other and their shared purpose became an inspiration to many, leaving a positive impact and a legacy that would outlast them. In the end, Bumi and Ayo found a love that transcended their past hardships and uncertainties. With compassion and understanding, they built a future together, filled with hope, resilience, and the power of unconditional love. After a couple of years, they got married and Bumi's life changed from a waitress to a billionaire's wife, but to her Ayo is worth more than gold and wealth. The moral of the story is that kindness, compassion, and empathy can lead to transformation and redemption, and love can transcend hardships and uncertainties.